Hey y'all, it is Julian, the Better Thrift Machine. Today we're gonna do a little thrifting and I'm gonna give you a what sold video at the end, so stay tuned. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Julian, also known as the Better Thrift Machine here on YouTube, and I basically buy stuff and flip it online for a profit and make YouTubes about it. So today we're gonna do a little bit of thrifting. It is a Friday. I had a good sales day yesterday, over $400, so I'll tell you what sold yesterday at the end of the video. But right now we're gonna hit my two favorite thrift stores, which are on my way home, and I might even do a golf club cleaning session. I'm right now at my Home Depot. I use a certain brand of WD-40 to clean golf clubs. I know that sounds weird, and they don't have any right now, or they didn't have any a week ago when I went. So today they have it, so I can clean some golf clubs. I can clean it without it. It just makes it a lot easier with it. So we're gonna go down to the thrift store, see what they got. Hey y'all, so I did not bring you into the second Goodwill. GoPro 8 again glitched on me. I couldn't get the thing on. I had to keep taking the battery out and everything, but I'll get that fixed. But I did pick up some golf clubs. I actually did pick up those Patagonia shirts. They were expensive at $8. I did leave one, but 4 of them were extra larges. So we'll see how they do. There was a sold comp for like $30, but also there were sold comps for $15 and $20 per shirt, so I'm gonna probably lot them together and see how much I can get for them. But let's go ahead and go over some golf clubs. I'll throw up some sold comps. This one right here is a Adams Iron A30S sand wedge, and it's in pretty good condition. I have to clean all these up though, and that one's probably like a $20 club. This is a Wilson Staff Fibrate 4H. Like I said, I just type in the stuff on the bottom. This one actually has a sold comp of $39.99 on eBay, so that's really not too bad, but it came with a head cover. That one doesn't have it, so it might be a $20 club, $25 club. This is a TaylorMade 1-iron, and the reason why I bought it, it is an older club, but it is a 1-iron, and I pick up most driving irons because it seems like they're kind of rare, and people do buy them all the time. And that one right there is like a $20, $25 club. And this one is a woman's Adams Hybrid A7S 8-iron. And this one right here, there are really no sold comps on it, but there are a couple listed, and they go for about $20. Now, I did think I made a mistake. There was a lot of people there, and it seemed like there was a lot of competition over the golf club, so I was kind of just picking things that looked good. I picked up these 3 golf clubs, and they're called first wedge, second wedge, third wedge. They're from Northwestern, which I didn't see when I was actually picking them up because I probably wouldn't have picked them up, but there's 3 wedges here. And they are like a system where basically they're a sand wedge, a lob wedge, and they don't really go for a whole bunch of money. One sold I think for $10 or $8. I only have $3 in each one, but I will lot them together and sell them as a lot with their little head covers. So I might be able to get, I don't know, 20 bucks from them. I don't think I'm gonna lose money on them, but they're probably gonna be slow movers. I did stop at the Home Depot, and they did not have that WD-40 I was looking for. It's a contact cleaner. Basically it's aerosol, like alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and works really good on steel shafts. It just cleans everything off and makes them really shiny. I can do it without it. It's that stuff just makes the work so much easier. But I'm gonna go home, clean these golf clubs, and show you how I do it. Alright guys, we are back home. We're going to do a little cleaning of golf clubs. Like you saw, I did pick up a whole bunch. Some did need some cleaning, and I have 2 examples right here. One is going to be a wood with a graphite shaft, and one's going to be an iron with a steel shaft. So this one right here, as you can tell, is kind of dirty. It does have some nastiness on the front, and there are some little black spots right here on the graphite shaft. And you're going to clean this one a little bit different than I cleaned this. This one right here is just an all steel TaylorMade. It just has a little bit of dirt on the front It just has a little bit of dirt on the front, and then the shaft is kind of just not shiny. It just has some tarnish right here, and it's just not in the best of shape. So what we're gonna do first is go for the wood. You're gonna clean this a little bit different, use different things. So first, what we have is just a little bit of Dawn dish soap with some more mortar, a strong bristle brush, and then you do have, this is not gun oil, this is a little bit of gun oil mixed with warm water, and this is just regular oil like you would use for a firearm or any type of lubrication oil. So first what I'm gonna do is dip this in that, and you just kind of scrub back and forth obviously and just get the heavy stuff off. Just wipe her clean. All right, there's a couple little bit of spots still in there. Kind of getting the grooves a little bit. Wipe her clean. And that looks pretty good. Now the front of it, if you do it with this, it really doesn't get rid of that heavy like marking on it. So for the fronts, I use a steel wire brush like this, and I can use a little bit of the Dawn, but what I do is I take my little solution here that's just a little bit of oil and water. Rub it back and forth, give it a good wipe down, and that shines it really nice. And then for the tops, you don't want to use something like this for the top. That would just scratch it because it has a coating on it. This is where this comes into play, and all you do is kind of just clean the top just like that, and that's good to go. Now the shaft, with the stuff that I use, I usually would just spray that on there and it wipes clean. This right here for the graphite shaft, you're just gonna have to like move it back and forth to get that stuff off of there with a little bit of water and a rag. You don't want to use any type of bristled brush like the steel on the graphite shaft because it will just take off any type of finish or markings that is on this shaft. But usually stuff like this kind of just wipes off, as you can tell, that black marking, and that's from other golf clubs grips that are nasty. They put them in the same part and it kind of messes the shaft up. As you can tell right there, this is nice and clean now. Little mark right there. And there you have it, just a little soap and water gets everything clean. Now a little trick that I do to really put a shine right before I take a picture is you take a little bit of oil, you put the oil on it, you take a clean rag, and you kind of just wipe the oil very lightly over the golf club. And look at that baby shine! All right, so that's how I do a steel with a graphite shaft. So we're gonna move on to a iron that has a steel shaft and a steel head. Now these are pretty tough. I mean, it's very hard to scratch these with anything. So what I do with these is I jump right in with the steel grip. Now what you don't wanna do is go over like this part right here where it has the like markings on it, because you will take that right off. But you can do like this. Do a little bit like that and wipe her down, and that's going to be pretty clean. And then the front again with the steel bristles, a little bit of soap and water. That does get pretty clean right there. And then with the shaft, this is the best way to do it, is again, take your little bristle brush, and you can tell like up here there's some like just nasty grime and kind of pitting, and you can use a stainless steel brush on this because these are steel shafts. And all you do is kind of just go back and forth. There's a mark right there that came right off. All right, and then all you do is you wipe her clean. And then put a little bit of oil on it, take a clean rag. Do the same thing with the head of the club. Look at that baby shine. All right, guys, so that's how I do that. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Some clubs can be even more nasty on the steel shafts, and they will actually start to rust a little bit if the chrome comes off of it. So you just gotta pay attention. I have a club right here that I picked up and I didn't notice. I just looked at it real quick and thought, oh, I can clean this up because it doesn't look like it's in that bad a shape. It does have, you know, some markings and a little bit of wear right here. And the shaft itself is not in terrible shape. It has a little bit of pitting, but not a bad looking club. And I got it home and I noticed, if you listen, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like rattling inside here, like a lot. That means that it's cracked. There's some sort of crack in here, or this is rusted and all the rust has fallen inside the head of the club. So this is trash. If you ever like shake a club and it sounds like a little miniature maraca, gotta throw it away, it's a bad club. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the what sold part. All right, guys, we're gonna go over a little bit of what sold yesterday and today. There's 16 in total. Yesterday I had a gross sales of about $405, and today I'm up to $200. So it's a total of about $605 in less than 2 days. This is the stuff that sold, so let's go ahead and get started. Remember, I work at about a 50%, take home rate. So when I say gross sales, that's like including shipping, fees, and all that. You take half of that away, and that's really what I take home. So about $300, which isn't too terribly bad. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that's sold is gonna be an Outback Trading Company Clancy cowboy hat, wool, size small. It did sell for $16.20. I have $3 in this at a Goodwill, and it did take probably about 4 months to sell. These TaylorMade, they're Rack OS irons. They have steel shafts, and it's a 4 through 9 iron plus a pitching wedge. I did sell them for $70 plus shipping. The thing is they are like a mismatch. They're not the same year, so the markings are a little bit different on them. That's why I sold them for 70 bucks. I could have waited to get a little bit more money, but I decided to sell them at this rate. For everything I bought last weekend, I'm already in the profit for. So that $402 I've already made back, and I think I've made about $150 on all that stuff I bought last weekend. So that's not bad. That was part of that group. Right here are some Gallus Malone men's loafers. I got them for $6 at the Goodwill. Wasn't the best pickup I've ever had, but they did sell for $14, and the buyer did pay shipping. It only took about 2 weeks to sell. These I've had for a long time, probably 5 months. These are just little commemorative spoons from 1988 Olympics, and they sold for $13.50, and I probably had less than $1 in them at an auction. The vintage Angel topper did sell, and I think this was featured in one of my other videos, and it sold for $15, and the buyer did pay shipping. Y'all saw that I did pick that up at the Goodwill for 99 cents. This one right here is a Craftsman Universal Joint 3/8 drive. The part number is 4435, so for $8.10 with free shipping. I know I only made like $3 or $4 on this, but easy to list, easy to ship, easy to pack, and get it out here. You make a quick $4. I'm okay with that, and that did take probably about like 6 to 7 months to sell. The Wii that I picked up last weekend did sell. This is the one in the box. I also think I had another black Wii that is still pending, but this one did sell for $107.10, and the buyer did pay shipping. Again, I'm in the profit, so that's total profit to me. This one is a golf club. I did not get this last weekend. I've had this one probably for about 3 or 4 months. This is a Callaway Big Bertha Hawkeye. It did sell for $31.50. The buyer did pay shipping, and that means that I probably picked that up for $3 at a Goodwill. This I picked up for $1.99. I posted this on my Instagram probably about a week or 2 ago, and it was a Meade spotting scope. It was really nice. The thing is, when you look through it, it had little black dots like on it. I tried to take it apart and clean it. I think it was part of the film that was coming off, but I did disclose that in the description. That's why it went for so cheap, but it went for $39.70, and the buyer did pay shipping. It only took about 2 weeks to sell. These are some old vintage Ben Hogan clubs. Had these forever, maybe like 8 months. Picked them up super cheap on a golf lot. I was gonna just throw them away or redonate them or do whatever, but I did end up listing them, and they did sell for $15, and the buyer did pay shipping. Again, took forever to sell. This one was from last weekend. King Cobra HS9 FST driver. It's a right hand, 10 degree, regular flex golf club. Did sell for $35, and the buyer did pay shipping. This is a Pat Simmons golf chipper, a 396 PS Master Grip. Did sell for $10, and the buyer did pay shipping. This was, again, from last weekend. This was not from last weekend. This is a Mizuno Nick Faldo 56 sand wedge. So for $15, and the buyer did pay shipping. I did buy a whole Salvation. I bought a whole Salvation Army the other day. Whole thing, I bought it. No, I bought this at the Salvation Army. It was a whole iron set. This was a mismatch in the set, and I sold, and the whole set I got for $17.99, and I sold this one for $15. So just a little bit more, and I'm already in the profit on that whole thing. So it was a really good pickup at the Salvation Army. Although I think they're getting keen to me because I went in today and their prices were a lot higher. I don't know if because Christmas is coming up or what's going on. So I didn't buy anything today, but hopefully the prices will go back down. The old Peppa Pig sold from Colombia. Sold for $14.30. The buyer did pay shipping, and this was a Kayla pickup about 3 weeks ago when we were on vacation. This is a whole bunch of non-working, no-name smartwatches and MP3 players. MP3 players will still sell. You might want to comp them out if you do see them. So all these sold for $20, and the buyer did pay shipping. I've had these for a really long time, really cheap that I have into them because I got these at an auction a long time ago. But like I said, that's not bad. 20 bucks into like $1. These did take about 3 weeks to sell. Got these at a Salvation Army, I think for $3 or $4, very cheap. And they sold for $23.13, and the buyer did pay shipping. And they are the mini DVD packs. It says read right there is because the package was damaged, but the DVDs inside were still good. And these are the small DVDs. So that right there was 16 sales. Again, a gross about $600. Not too terribly bad. Sales have been going up, but also been listing a whole bunch. Hopefully you enjoyed the golf cleaning. I know that's kind of self-explanatory how to clean things, but like I said, just watch out on those graphite shafts because if you rub too hard on those, you can scratch that graphite or the top of the club. You want to be gentle with that. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it's been some sort of educational. If you liked the video, if you would subscribe, comment down below, and like the video. And you know, I will catch you on the next one.